You ready to review the Echo show?
Yeah, I fell asleep during it, so I only watched the first couple episodes.
I think you watched like the first 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finished it. I watched it. So if you're not familiar, Marvel Studios has released Echo. This is one of the shows that we said that we were going to discuss. So this is a Native American character. They did a lot of changes from the comic. You know, actually the creators of this show said the comic book power sucked, and that's why they changed it.
Wow.
Like real disrespectful to the source material. So in the comic books,
they said this is what we got our inspiration from wasn't good enough.
Essentially. So in the comic books, she is akin to Taskmaster. So basically, she can manipulate and copy your fighting style. So whatever you can do, she eventually be able to learn it and throw it back at you.
Okay.
They didn't do any of that in this video.
Yeah, from the first 3 episodes, you barely could see.
Bro,
what
the
she
first
could do.
scene threw me off. I thought we were watching the wrong thing. I thought they uploaded the wrong show under Echo because I thought this was about to be a street level show, and they start this off with the clay people. Like I remember just when we were watching it, I'm sitting there to myself. I'm like,
what is happening?
Is this the story of the first Native American? I was so thrown off by that.
But real quick, before we continue, I just want to say that I specifically hate when shows start with like the really cool alien, like completely different world, right? And it's so foreign to what we know, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a completely new story, a completely new canon, a completely new like myth to follow, and then the place gets destroyed and we end up on Earth. I hate it. I hate it so much.
But see, my knowledge of everything, that's why it threw me off, because this was supposed to be a street level hero, like anti-hero kind of individual.
You mean street level as in what? What does that mean?
So street level means like vigilante, like
okay,
Daredevil,
so okay.
Spider-Man, like that's street level. Like
okay.
you're fighting criminals. You're not fighting galactic warlords or shit like that. You're fighting like mob bosses and things of that nature.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar with a lot of things in Marvel, this is a direct spinoff to the series Hawkeye. And Echo was in that show. They kind of actually cut out a lot of different scenes that kind of took away from her character that they included in this. So like the first episode was a lot of old footage that they had extended scenes of that they just added to the show. So like even where you see like her getting a little pinch on the cheek, stuff like that, like that's old footage from her and Kingpin. So basically what this comes out, you see her after the little introduction of how the clay people became the natives, that's her people. You see them in the family. The family ends up leaving because she wants to leave early. And, you know, her mom dies in a car accident. But one of the things that was early on that I kind of noticed, and it was really frustrating watching, was they didn't do a clear translation between the ASL that was being said and the people they were talking to. So there was a lot of scenes. Like I'm not watching this on no bootleg shit. I'm watching this on Disney Plus. Like I'm paying for the shit to watch it, and there are literal scenes, multiple scenes, where they do not do the subtitles for the ASL. Like literally they only do it at the end when it becomes like really important.
I noticed that they only did the ASL translations when she was speaking to a specific character, that guy.
And then and you fell asleep at this part, but at the end they show that Kingpin has contacts so that he can know what she's saying in ALS without having to learn it.
Okay. So Rhetoric had this complaint about them not having the subtitles for us to be able to understand her. But then I thought that, like, I don't know, Disney, like, they know what they're doing. Like, they know that they need to put subtitles for things. Like, maybe this was on purpose, because people who are hard of hearing consistently have this I don't want to call it a complaint, but well, yeah. Well, it's a damn it.
I would call it a complaint.
Yeah, it's a complaint. It's a complaint of like we don't put captions on things, so people who are hard of hearing don't get enough context when they're watching shows,
or
so
the incorrect context.
they do, or the captions are incorrect and they don't get the full context of what's going on. So I thought that maybe Disney did this on purpose because all of the ASL wasn't fully translated at all. And there was only certain parts of it that were translated. And then I also thought that they did that because the only parts that did fully have captions, they had this little like silent movie episode that was also very like it was better for people who were hard of hearing. And it was like we could fully understand the episode too, but I was like, this whole series is what's the word I'm looking for? It's like it's made for people who are hard of hearing. It's like garnered for them. Like
They're the priority.
yes.
Like I think the one thing that we were
if you
saying,
can hear, then
no, but I think the one thing that we're saying that it was intentional in a way that it was for us as people who could hear, able-bodied people, to experience content in a way that our disabled brothers and counterparts would have to experience it.
yeah.
We missed out on certain context. Certain things
It's
were not allowed
frustrating.
for us, and we had to experience that frustration. And when you brought that to my attention, that's what made me be able to kind of interpret that differently, because it was frustrating. And then it made me think about all the times that I would read subtitles and I would feel bad that the people who were experiencing this did not actually hear what exactly was supposed to be said.
I've in like very
Like I have
small
tweets
occasions,
about that.
have had shows where like somebody's speaking Creole and I'm Haitian and the person that's speaking Creole is saying one thing and then the captions are saying something else, and it's like very small, but the context is like to make you understand the nuance of the conversation. It is important. So the fact that the caption, like one little word could be off, but it does change the tone of like how you read it to yourself. So I think maybe if it wasn't just a slip up of like, we just forgot this, like Game of Thrones putting Poland Spring and Starbucks cups and on the set. Like if it wasn't just a slip up, then I think it was a very smart way to get people who are hearing people to be like, oh, this is the frustration that hard of hearing people go through. This is the frustration that everybody goes through.
Yeah.
Blind people, people who are
Hard of
disabled.
hearing, people who are mute. No, I agree. Like I thought that was dope. So what did you think about the Daredevil fight? I thought that was actually probably one of the better fights in the whole series because there wasn't a lot of action after like that first couple episodes.
So the Daredevil fight was in like the second episode.
The first
right?
episode, I
The
think.
first episode.
Mhm.
Personally, don't shoot me. I did watch Daredevil. I like more dramatic fight scenes, but that is probably because I watch anime. Like I like anime fight scenes a little bit more. They're a little bit more dramatic. They're not based in reality. I don't like things that are based in reality. So when you have a regular vigilante that's fighting another regular vigilante, like that's just two niggas fucking each other up. Like I'm not.
The choreography was dope though.
It probably
That
was, but it was still just two humans fighting each other human style.
Like to me, I don't think you really kind of appreciated it. Like
No,
if you
I
watch,
probably didn't pay attention as much as I should have.
if you watch the first Daredevil, like the fight scenes and choreography that was done in there was just masterful. Like the fact that how many scenes they had were just one cut. Like there were no cuts. It was just a one shot scene that was done. They did a little bit some of this in there, and there was some CGI that they added onto it as well. But like that was some dope shit. And the fact that they were able to recopy that and have that done at least for that first instance, and us to be able to see Daredevil in MCU, like official Daredevil in MCU, not the She-Hulk version with the yellow and all that jazz. Like, nah. And they also told us that all the Daredevil stuff is canon. So all that happened. He survived the blip because this happened after the blip. So he was there during the blip, and we got to see a little bit. To me, I always love that. Anytime we can get what happened during the blip content,
yes,
that's my favorite.
I think Disney
we need a book.
To do a.
I feel like they should have wrote a novel. You don't have to do no comic book. Write a novel about the blip, the 5 years of the blip.
I think we need a blip show.
No, I don't need a show. Just give me a novel. Give me a novel and give me a YouTuber that's going to break it down, and I'll listen to him.
There's always going to be a YouTuber that's going to break it down.
Niggas got time. I did hate some of the montages because one, it was reused footage, a lot of it. And
montages are generally corny.
Like, and it's just, it doesn't necessarily bring to me the affirmation that I want from a character because it doesn't feel like I'm involved in the process. It just feels like I'm just watching things go along, and then now I'm supposed to accept whatever realization.
It feels like a cheap way to garner character development from like the audience's point of view.
Yeah, it is. It's a very quick, cheap way to do that.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know how deaf people have private convos. Why do you need to have a private convo if you're deaf?
Okay, so there was a scene in the show, and then
when they went to the skate rink,
and then and then he was like, "Oh, we need to talk about this privately." And then I was like, why do they need to talk about this privately? First of all, they're in a DJ booth higher than everyone else in a skating ring. And then y'all speak sign language. Does everybody in the skating rink know sign language? Also, these are all children in the skating rink.
It made me feel like I was problematic for not knowing sign language. Like when I'm watching this shit, everybody just is so fluent as the shit. Everybody moving slow when they doing it. And I'm like, I'm starting to even get like stuff in my algorithm about ASL.
I like that Disney Plus made me feel inferior for not knowing American Sign Language. I think that should be a feeling across a lot of media so that people just start learning American Sign Language so that hard of hearing people feel less isolated. I think that's
you're gonna break up the scam if you do that.
I think that's good propaganda. Positive propaganda is making people feel stupid for not knowing American Sign Language. That's what the CIA needs to focus on.
You gonna mess up you gonna mess up what's going on though. You know how many people have got caught up for doing fake sign language?
Yes. Oh my God.
You're trying to break up the scam.
Those are some of my favorite stories. Like that lady that was at the speech. She was just like.
It was like, what was that like what speech was that happened? It was
that didn't look like nothing, did it? Did I say something just now? American Sign Language people?
You probably said something derogatory.
I probably genuinely said nothing just now. Like I've seen American Sign Language and it looks more intentional than what I just did.
Right, so you didn't finish up the last few episodes, but I did. What ends up happening is they kind of have the conflict where she reunites with Fisk. She learns that he is he's back alive. He tries to bring her back. She denies him, and they end up having a big conflict. I hate her powers, first and foremost. Her powers are feminism.
Are they? Because when I left off, her powers she didn't have control of.
So her powers are feminism.
They just come out when she needs help.
Her powers are first, second, and third wave feminism. Because what happens is,
as a Native American woman, she did not benefit from any of those waves of feminism.
So the reason why I say that is her powers.
Let y'all know that we know that. We know that. Continue.
The reason why I say that is because her powers stem from the fact that she's a special individual. Like it's not even like that was the one part I hated so much. Was
she came from the lineage of these people.
Yeah,
right?
Like the reason why I hated it so much is because that did not.
But
include,
isn't it?
Hold on. Let me finish. The reason why I hated it so much was because it was not included in the story in regards to it didn't matter. Like when you have a story like this and you have the main story was this, her and Kingpin and them finding each other and going from there. That's the story. Mm-hmm. So if you want to have a supernatural element with it, you have to have it included in the story for some reason. It was not. It was literally, this is a special chick for the sake of being special. And it's going to help include in the end of the climax.
I do remember one episode saying that her ancestry traced back to the special clay people that came here. So it wasn't random. It was just like she specifically came from this line of women.
It's random.
And
we
were following her because she came from this line of women.
No, we were following her because she was in another Disney Plus. That again, none of this had nothing to do.
But
with.
Because she came from this line of women who had these powers, it wasn't just a random.
That is random. Yes, it is, because it had nothing to do with the story. She learned nothing from it from the story. The only reason it came into play was because I went back home. Like, what I'm saying is this. Like, this is the way that you tell the story. Okay. So this is the main story. Is this? Hey, I shot Kingpin. I'm trying to take over his empire. He's alive. He's trying to get revenge. So in his midst of getting revenge, he does something that is, he tries to take something. He tries to affect something that is part of my heritage. Now I learn about that heritage, and now it affects the end of the story. Because you know how this motherfucker ends? It ends with him about to fucking throw tomb fist at her fucking head. She does her little special little powers, and then it just stops. Like, they have like a weird little section where he goes back and he's crying like he was a kid, but he's a grown-ass man in his room, seeing his wall being pushed in by his dad kicking his mom's ass.
Oh, no.
And you don't see any of it, but it's like her mom was a healer, so in her way that they're trying to show, he's healing her, but then he's not. Like, the ending was horrible. It was like probably up there with like the Secret Invasion regarding the ending. It was so pointless. It meant nothing. Like, the fact that you're showing all of her and her relatives together, it means nothing to Kingpin because you did not show any correlation between the two. Mm-hmm. You're just like, oh, this is a special bitch and she in this situation. Like, the specialness did not include
I wish
her situation.
I saw the last couple.
Bro, they did
episodes,
a scene. So you know when they show all the people.
I feel like spiritually, I would have gotten something a little bit different from it that I would have been able.
This is what happened. Let me tell you how feminism is her superpower.
Now I just gotta let him get his shit.
Let me tell you how it's the superpower.
It's so unfortunate.
She goes and meets up with Kingpin to do a conflict.
Sad.
She goes up to Kingpin to initiate the conflict, and she ends up giving the powers to her cousin and grandma just out of nowhere, so that they start beating up the niggas. These niggas ain't fought nothing the whole movie. These niggas ain't got no history. The bitch is a firefighter and a post office worker. Okay? And they out here kicking niggas' ass because she turned on the power. Like, come on, my G. This shit is ridiculous.
That is hilarious.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, low-key.
That shit is fucking nuts.
I still think you're a hater.
And you can say I'm a hater. Indian feminism was the fucking hero of this movie. Because you just gave all the women
feminism.
Power. Native American.
Again, they're not Indians.
They're Native Americans, okay? They call themselves Indians in the show.
Christopher Columbus was a full, robust dumbass, and that show was produced by what? White men.
Zionists.
Probably. Yeah. So let's take that with a grain of salt.
But that was the only part that, like, the ending and the fact that you're adding this supernatural. You could have just said the Kingpin was trying to get a healing relic from your people, and that's why he, you could did something. But it was like you literally had an A plot and a B plot that the only reason they connected was because he kidnapped your family. Mm-hmm. So it was like, say, it followed the same kind of format.
And set up your father to be murdered.
Yeah, it just followed the same format of a good start, and then they shoot their load too fast.
An okay motive.
Like I said, that was already settled when she shot him in the face in Hawkeye.
How you shoot somebody in the face and not kill them?
I think they're gonna tell us later on that he has some type of like super soldier serum or something.
Yeah, because that don't make no sense.
But that was the only thing. I hated the ending. I thought the action scenes were really dope. I thought
should have shot that nigga in the face several times.
I thought it'd be really dope if they would have kept her original power and not gave her that like stupid Native American shit. Because it didn't mean anything and it was dumb.
If they did a Native American superhero, the Native American hero they did in the What If, Cohorty, that hero, like her power was lit as fuck because it was from the Tesseract, right? Mm-hmm. that's what y'all should have did. I definitely want more of that because she was lit as fuck. And then her whole, like, I would want y'all to go deeper into that. I would want, like, maybe a season of something like that. That would be lit as fuck.
They do have a Native American Captain America. They have a Captain America of the Kickapoo tribe.
Oh, wow. We'll watch that and we'll let y'all know.
No, it's a
about
comic book.
that.
It's not a.
Oh.
It's a comic book. See,
Okay.
that's him right there.
All right. Is that it?
I mean, yeah, we can finish up right here.
Yeah.